Yo, what's going on? Your boy JP, Joe Paul, back in the motherfucking building. Hope everybody's having a great day, a wonderful evening, an amazing blah, whatever time of day you're watching this. I hope this shit is lit. My fault, I fucked up on the intro. But listen, man, what's going on with y'all? Welcome back to another Basketball Weekly. Hope you guys had a good week. There was a lot that happened in the NBA this week. Before I get into it, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna call it Basketball Weekly. Like, I wrote it down in my notes as Basketball Weekly just so that I remember that it's like for the basketball channel, but I'm not gonna call this shit Basketball Weekly. Cause I'm not gonna lie, I think Pierre from the Through the Wire podcast, he calls his little basketball updates Basketball Weekly. So I ain't trying to swagger jack. I ain't gonna take my man shit, but shout out to my man Pierre. But let's talk about this. So make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube shit, and let's get into it, man. This week for me was kind of like a throwback. It felt like. And the reason why I say that is because, what I'm saying, for somebody like me, if you're my age, I'm 24, which means that I grew up, I was a teenager in the 2010s. So during the NBA, during those times in the 2010s, it was dominated by really three players. And if you're my age, the three players. It was LeBron, it was KD, and it was Steph. So you were guaranteed to get a performance out of those three, once a night. You had LeBron in Cleveland. He was doing this thing. Even if you want to go back to when LeBron was in Miami, he was out there dominating, giving you just highlight plays daily, just fucking running Sports Center. They called Sports Center LeBron Center back in the day because all they did was post LeBron and the Heat highlights. They highlights, their interviews, everything. It was all Heat all the time, all LeBron all the time. And it's kind of like House of Highlights. It's the OG House of Highlights, Shout out Sports Center. But yeah, you were guaranteed to get a LeBron. And then once KD and Steph linked up in Golden State, and it was really a dub because then at that point they weren't really losing games, You were guaranteed that you were getting a 30 piece or a 25 piece from KD and Steph a night on top of highlight plays, on top of all this stuff. And this week was very reminiscent of all of that. So if you guys don't know, this week was Steph Curry. He is breaking Ray Allen's 3-point record. Very big accomplishment. KD dropped 51 points this week in a dub against the Pistons. And LeBron has been on a complete tear. LeBron's been on a complete tear the last 5-6 games. I feel like he's dropped damn near a 30-point triple-double in every single game, and it's really brought me back because I was like, damn, here we are 10 years later from the 2011 season. From 10 years from there, here we are, and we still have LeBron James, Stephen Curry, and KD still dominating the league, still out there doing things that other people in the league just simply can't do. And if with the NBA recently, you can tell it's definitely like a changing of the guard coming, right? Like a lot of the young talent has been really flourishing over the past couple of years, Ja Morant, Trae Young, Luka, your Devin Bookers, your DeAndre Aytons, who else? Your Giannis's, your younger players, You could definitely see a change in the guard coming. Kind of like what happened to me when I was, around 10 years old, 11 years old. When we started our change of the guard, when, Shaq and, Shaq and all the older players of the 90s, they retired. And then we were just left with, we were just left with LeBron and KD and Kobe and all this other shit. But yeah, so for it to be 10 years later and to still be seeing these people dominating amidst the change of the guard, it's like, wow, like these guys have really stood the test of time, and Father Time has simply just not been able to compete. Starting with LeBron. LeBron out here being in year 19, turning 37 this month, and still not averaging, but still putting up damn near 30-point triple doubles. Granted, the team is trash, but man, that's nothing to sniff at. 30-point triple double is impressive no matter how you look at it. So huge shout out to LeBron. LeBron's out here doing big things. Hopefully Anthony Davis can take some notes and to get some aggression. He can play a little bit harder, and maybe they can win some games, and we can get LeBron into the MVP race. Because listen, man, do not let LeBron go out in mediocrity. I said it in the Lakers video earlier last week. Please do not let LeBron go out in mediocrity. If it involves trading AD, if it involves trading Russ, get him out of there. You guys do not want to waste prime LeBron. Not prime LeBron, but you don't want to waste any years of LeBron. You don't want to waste LeBron. LeBron is not the person that you want to fuck off a couple of years with, So Lakers, get that right. LeBron, shout out to you. KD out there fucking hooping 51 points in a dub against the Pistons. It's been great watching KD just the past 2 years, honestly, since he came back from his Achilles injury. It's been like he honestly hasn't even been hurt. He's been completely healthy. He's been out there just doing all the shit that we love to see him do. All the fadeaways, post-up fadeaways, rip-through moves, just out there being a bucket. He was just out there straight up being a bucket. And for him, I think this year he's the scoring leader. I believe he's the scoring leader for this year. So just watching KD be KD, that's always going to be fun. If you're a hooper, man, you always enjoy seeing KD just pick up a basketball and shoot and just do what he does. And of course, let's talk about the man of the hour. So the day that I'm recording this, and the day that's going up, Steph should be breaking the Ray Allen's all-time three-point record tonight against the Knicks. Listen, I'm glad the game is on TNT because if it was on MSG, I wouldn't be able to see it. For some reason, New York has Knicks and Nets games blacked out unless you have the local channels, and I'm not paying for fucking cable. So I just miss out on Knicks and Nets games unless they're on TNT and ESPN. It's fucked up. I don't deserve that shit. I'm already trying to support the league, trying to support my local teams, and niggas trying to tell me that I gotta pay for the local channels. They get them on Sling then. I pay $9 a month on Sling, bro. The least you could do is give me my fucking channels. But that's besides the point. So Steph should be breaking the record tonight, and it got me thinking back to when Ray Allen broke the record against Reggie Miller's 3-point record at the time, and it was like it's a completely different like aura and ambience about it. Like this has felt momentous for like the past like 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Ever since Steph got within like 20. People have been like, oh, you think Steph's gonna do it this game? Is he gonna do it this game? Is he gonna do it this game? And the crazy thing is, the craziest shit that I ever saw was the fact that we were sitting up here in real time saying, yo, Stephen Curry might make 16 3-pointers tonight against the Blazers and break the record. We said that like it was legitimately a possible thing that could honestly happen. And nobody batted an eye about it. And that's why this whole thing has kind of felt like momentous. For every single game that he's played for the last week has been like, yo, we are on the cusp of some real greatness. We're about to see something really amazing, something really great happen. You know, and I'm really excited that he's gonna get a chance to do it in the Garden, where it all started. Everybody knows about Steph's 54-point masterpiece at the Garden in 2013, so it's perfect for him. The scene's gonna be set. The team that should have drafted him is gonna get to watch him break the 3-point record in 4K. And the fact that it's the New York Knicks is simply poetic, and it doesn't get any better than that. So listen, man, huge shout out to Steph. Hopefully Steph is on the cusp of his third MVP. Either I want Steph to get his third MVP, or I want KD to get his second MVP. Or listen, honestly, at this point, Giannis can get his third. I wouldn't even be mad at that either. But yeah, shout out to those three. Let's move on. Let's talk about COVID, man. Let's talk about COVID. And by COVID, I mean the Bulls and the Hornets. Now, they both have been completely dominated by COVID the past couple of weeks. And it's been really tough to watch. It got to a point where on Twitter, I kept watching and I just kept seeing a different Bulls player was going into health and safety protocols, and there was no suspensions, no nothing. And it had me thinking, I'm like, yo, is this fair? Like, if this was a big market team, and the Bulls are a big market, but if this was like in LA or a Brooklyn where the games have been postponed, you know what I'm saying? And later on down the line, they did end up postponing some of the Bulls games because the Bulls, they're down. I think they're only down to like 8 active players on that they can play right now. So they can't play. They can't play, and them playing games and losing right now would be simply unfair and wouldn't allow them to really have a real judge on their record when we got to the end of the season. So I'm glad that they suspended these next couple games. Hopefully these guys can get healthy. And I don't know, Chicago needs to do a deep clean or something because there's some real shit going on. Because how the fuck does 10 of your players catch COVID? Like, they must have all been fucking the same bitch or something. Or I don't know. It must be some fucking the same bitch, smoking on the same spliff. They was doing something they wasn't supposed to be doing. And now the team is basically up in flames. Hopefully those guys get healthy soon, though, because I really do like watching the Bulls. Shout out to Caruso. Shout out Lonzo. Ex-Lakers. My boys. LeBron ruined it like he always does. Moving on. Listen, we're going to talk about... Damn it. Fucked up my whole shit. That was supposed to be a picture of Reggie Jackson. But we're going to talk about our Lord and Savior, Reggie Jackson, and the real team of LA, the LA Clippers. They're currently sitting in the 5th seed in the West. And listen, man, they've been just like a fun team for me to watch the whole year. I've really kind of always liked watching the Clippers ever since they got. Now, let me not say that. Ever since they got Kawhi and Paul George, I have not liked watching the Clippers every single night because the Clippers sometimes play really, really bad and really, really dumb for no real reason. But then for some reason they'll turn it around and they'll give you something to cheer for. And it's kind of like this like sick game where it's like, are we gonna be ass today? Are we gonna be good today? Like, I agree with you. Last year against what team they played against? Last year against the Mavericks in the first round. Oh my God. I was like, there was a couple times where I was like, you know what? Fuck this team. I can't do it no more. These guys are stressful. Kawhi is a bum. But then other time it's like, Kawhi's the GOAT. it's too much back and forth. But this season has been way calmer, way chiller. They're currently on a 4-game win streak, and they've kind of just been winning the games like how they did during the playoffs last year. You know, a lot of win by committee stuff, a lot of. Sorry, man, hold on, my throat is trying to need some water. But yeah, a lot of win by committee stuff. Paul George is having an MVP season, I would say, but he's currently injured. Or I'm not sure if he's injured, but he didn't play the last 2 games, I don't think. But yeah, so Paul George is currently out. But yeah, this team is just really an exciting team to watch, and I feel like they need to get more love and more appreciation because everybody always loves making jokes about the Clippers, about them being the basement team and the little brother and blah 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 and all this other shit. But if we're being real, they've dominated the matchup against the Lakers over the past 10 years. Like the Lakers were really bad for a lot of years, and the Clippers were. We're not recording. Oh, my fault. We stopped recording. But the Lakers were really bad for a lot of years, and the Clippers were barely good for a lot of years. Like for a lot of years during the 2010s, there was like a whole change of everything because the Clippers here they are making a push towards the Western Conference Finals and being a real contender in the West, and the Lakers were bottom feeders. So I don't know. This Clippers team, they currently sit at 15 in the West, and depending on what the status is with Kawhi, I don't know. They could be poised to make a position come playoff time. Listen, don't call me crazy. Don't be surprised if the Clippers make another run to the Western Conference Finals. Some way, somehow, I could see them coming back and upsetting Phoenix this year. If Phoenix came back with the exact same team, and all the Clippers needed really, I feel, was to be healthy, and with a healthy Kawhi, I feel like they could definitely knock off Phoenix. Can they knock off Golden State? I don't know. That remains to be seen. Can they knock off Utah? Yes, because they did it last year. And Utah is just Utah. They're really good. They're a really good team this year, but they're fucking Utah. We don't play with Utah. So, yeah. Shout out to the Clippers. Shout out to Reggie Jackson. If you guys don't know, Reggie Jackson is a generational talent, once in a lifetime player. Doesn't get much better than him, if we're being real, when it comes to basketball. But shout out to my boy Reggie Jackson. You the GOAT. All right, so we're going on to 16 minutes. All right, so I'm trying to wrap this up. Wrap up these last 2 topics real quick. All right, so the last 2 topics are Ben Simmons and Dame's trade. Their trade options. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't give a fuck about their trade options anymore until something actually happens with that. I don't feel like there's not really much that you can talk about. Like I'm not really sure where they're gonna go. I'm not sure who even want. Like I know, like of course people are gonna want Ben Simmons and Damian Lillard, but who's gonna really want what Portland and the Sixers are asking to get him? And Kyrie coming back. So apparently there's been some rumblings that Kyrie could be returning to Brooklyn soon. Apparently he was posted up in the gym wearing some gym shoes, his Kyrie shoes, you know what I'm saying? And, of course people on I gotta stop smacking my hands. Of course people on Twitter got with that and they got the idea that he's coming back and he's gonna come ball again. And if he does, listen, I feel like if Kyrie comes back and plays basketball this season, we're talking about a real change in the league right now. So right now Brooklyn is number 1 in the East, and but they've been slipping lately. They don't really have any wins against any of the good teams. They lost to Golden State, they've lost to Phoenix, they've lost to Chicago, they lost to all the good teams. You know what I'm saying? They beat up on the bad teams as they should, but they've lost to the good teams. And I think that once they get a Kyrie back, that changes the power balance in the league because I feel like personally, if they get Kyrie back, and Kyrie is Kyrie, because Kyrie's not coming off injury. He's coming off injury. Ooh, he is coming off an injury. It's an ankle injury, but still. Anyway, he's coming off an ankle injury, so maybe that won't be the same thing. But if Kyrie is able to come back and be Kyrie Irving, just who he always has been, that takes the pressure off James Harden, lets him go and be a third star. So he can go back to thriving like how he was last year. Not sure what the fuck happened to James Harden this year, but I could see Kyrie coming back, being a 20-point scorer, James Harden averaging a double-double, and KD being KD, and then we had the healthy Brooklyn Nets in the playoffs, and I don't see any current team beating them. Not Golden State, not Phoenix, not the Bucks. A healthy Brooklyn Nets team wins a championship easily. So if this news about Kyrie coming back is true, then beware NBA.